Today we're going to be showing you how to lay a pillar. We got 6 to do, and we're laying them out of chimney block. You can lay them out of other block or whatever, but this is what we're using today. We got them all marked out here. Dave did that for us. So I made my mud a little wet, so we're going to pass some time by putting rebar in. I got 2 in here. I'm going to put 2 in every pillar. Alright, I got all my pins drilled. Alright, so take the block off. I got the lines traced. I can lay my mud out right along the lines here. My ground is pitched down, so I'm gonna have to put extra mud on the front of this side and less on the back. So I got my mud spread out, but it's a little wet, so I'm gonna let it set up a little bit. I'm gonna mud the next one up too. So my mud is still super soaked there and there. I spread this one. I think I'm gonna have to spread them all and let it start setting up and come back to it. So if you ever have wet mud, just spread a bunch of it out and let it set up. That's what we do with it. Alright, so the wind dried my mud out a little bit. Still a little wet, but it's ready to lay on. So when I lay this, I grab it right here, and since the porch is pitching, I try and push on the back and make the float, or make the front like float on the mud. And I just look down the block, try and hit it right on the lines. Tap her in. Start with the back because I know it's pitching hard. Make sure it's right on the lines. And when I'm laying these pillars, there's only 4 corners that matter. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, 3. So I plumb all these like this. I start with this side. Pretty plumb. Tap down here. It's very important you get this course right. This side, right on, and that's all you do. You just make sure they're plumb and to the line for your first course. Alright, so my first course is established everywhere, and I'm gonna have Saul and Jake fill in the bottom. So Saul just takes that mud off the trowel with his other trowel and slicks in the bottom. Make sure there's no air holes in the mortar. Sawyer and Jake are going to keep slicking in my first course I laid through here. I'm going to start laying my second course. Alright, so it's time for me to put the second course on all of them. Since I have my block completely plumb, I just spread it evenly now instead of according to the footer. Now that it's all spread nice and evenly, I got to do my best to lay this as flat as possible and without squishing my mud anywhere. I just sit like this and I look right down my corner, set it right there, look at my other corner, back, and try and match 2 corners up. That's it. Alright. Again, you only plumb 2 sides. You make sure it's the same 2 sides that you did on the course below. So I did this side and this back side. So I first step, plumb, tap this side down. Alright, back. The back's good. Next step, I chase this corner down. I do it on both sides of the same side I plumbed. So I do this corner, tap it out a little bit, all the way to the ground. This back corner. And then I do the same thing on this side, this corner and this corner. Very good. Always double check once I move something. Very good. And it's even level. There you go. From this point up, if you're going 5 or 20, you do the same exact thing I just did. You just need a longer level to chase down. So once I get up past 3 block, I start using my 4-footer to chase down my 4 corners. And that should keep you straight out as far as you can go up. But you do the same thing as the second course every single time. So that's what Jake's doing. He's just sweeping off all the extra stuff, making sure we're staying neat and clean. They're also following behind me and striking, because a block blade is a block struck. Even if we're putting stone on it, it helps seal it better. We don't want any gaps in our mortar. So they strike it once, and they brush the joint, make sure they get all the boogers off. Alright, so this is my height here, the stone. And I put a level mark with a marker out across this pillar. And I gotta be in 8-inch increments. And I'm at 9 1/4, so I know I can fit another whole block before my rip. So right now I just want to make sure every pillar is close to this, so I know I can lay a whole one through. I got the beeper. It's good. And I go through and make sure they're all close to that. Alright, now I'm almost to my height. So my line's right here. And then you got to figure out what the total measurement is, which is 1 inch. Both sides. Level. And all you gotta do is subtract 3/8 for a bed joint. So 1 inch minus 3/8, I need a 5/8 inch rip. That's gonna be something. So my piece was made. I stuck it in there, and I matched this height here to the lines. And I can't really plumb it because it's so small, so I just chase the corners down. Alrighty, so this pillar is done. I'm pretty sure this height is good because I've got the level line. Perfect. So I take this height here and I transfer it across all my pillars. So since I know this is my top height, I know this is where my mark goes. Put a mark right where those are, these teeth, and then I can measure off of the pillar over here to see what my piece needs to be. Alright, so I go over here, I adjust this up to my height to match this pillar. So that's where my height's at. I take my marker here. I mark these pointy things again, right where they're at. So got a mark here and here. Distance between there is about 1 3/8 inches. So minus 3/8 from my joint, I need 1 inch piece for the next pillar over. And this piece is like really impossible to plumb, and it's the top block, so all you gotta do is you can actually level this one, doesn't matter. Level this way, level that way, and then you do your 4 corners. Perfect. I finished all the pillars. They're all the way up. So when you're done and you're cleaning up, and you got all your tools picked up and clean, always make sure you go back around where you were laying. And anywhere there's little chunks like this, just wipe them off with a wire brush. Especially if you're doing it on somebody's finished porch. And then take a broom, sweep off all that stuff. Do that everywhere.